Hey, congratulations, Uncle Richie.
Thank you. I'm dying to meet her.
Oh, she's so cute.
She looks identical to my Cameron, the third one, when he was born.
Really?
Like, oh my God, it's uncanny. It's bizarre how much.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet.
Are we live? Are we live, Diane? Okay, we can talk later. Thank you.
No, zip it.
Okay, is everybody ready to start?
Well, I thought it was my meeting. I
know. Well, I just figured I'd let you know we were on YouTube so that, you know, you and Rich can catch up later.
Hey, thanks. Okay, so I'm going to call this meeting to order at 5:03. Roll call, please. Fred Sinella,
Here.
Susan Gravellisi,
Here.
and Stacy Rizzo here. We're here tonight to just discuss the policy for KBA, which would be a family engagement policy. I had sent out drafts earlier. Earlier today, I also tried to put some of the ideas that Fred, Sue, and myself kind of came up with, and I tried to put it in a organized pattern and try to do away with things that might have been duplicated in certain areas. Diane, do you mind if I use your screen?
No, I made you a co-host for your share.
You did. Okay. So I don't know if anyone got a chance earlier to look at it. I know you guys had a busy day already, so it's basically what we started off with, and then there's a lot of bullets that came in with the suggestions from the Family Engagement Parent Group. I know Susan had said earlier that I might have left a lot off of the policy of what they had. But Susan, I did go through yours.
Okay.
And is there any way I can do a dual screen? Diane, do you have any expertise in that?
I don't, unfortunately. Okay. But if you wanted to, you could show one and then show the other one.
Okay. So today I sent you this draft, and I tried to take everything that we had and most of the things that were suggested by Susan, Fred, and myself, and tried to incorporate it with a lot of things, like I said, from the Family Engagement Group. I also added a piece from ESSA that to remind us that our policies are to be reviewed and that it's a working document and we need to look at it and get input from the parents on a yearly basis. So I'm going to just show Sue. This is what Sue had sent me earlier. And I went through each paragraph, Susan, of what you said. And everything in yellow is in there.
Okay.
Well, that's in there too, but then there were things like survey families, students, and community to identify barriers to family engagement. And I don't know, to me, that sounds like things that we need to do each year. Like ESSA says, we need to update them yearly on a regular basis.
Right. We already send multiple surveys, and I just felt, you know, that language.
I mean, there was some that well. I just felt is kind of redundant to, I mean, it doesn't make a difference. It's a bunch of words as far as I'm concerned, where it's in a different policy. I mean, they're important words, but we have them and it's in place. Develop positive school-parent relationships that view parent cultural capital. I mean, we've already said that in another sentence that they, like, some of these were like almost duplicated from each of their areas. Does that make sense?
It does, it does. There were a lot that we have already been doing and that were duplicates, but I was just trying to add some of their verbiage to keep it consistent with, you know, how all the work that they had done.
So it might, and that's what I wanted to respect, the work that they did. But everything that you had brought up, I have here in yellow is already in there.
Okay.
Except for like those two items right in there. And when we had talked about this last week, there was a bit of trying to, excuse me one second. I'm trying to, we looked at one portion of theirs that talked about advocating for each youth. And a lot of it is something that maybe we can, you know, the WE group helps parents in a lot of this to show them where to get the right information, but maybe it could be something that's incorporated into the community school.
And where was that in the parents' family engagement policy that you just spoke of?
Tommy?
What you just spoke of, the advocacy, you said that was in the parents' family engagement policy
Yes.
draft?
Yes.
Where was that? Do you
Number
remember?
4.
Number 4?
Empower families with skills and knowledge to, wait a minute, I don't have my glasses on. Work closely with families to identify resources, funding, services. I kept the one about the grades and school transitions. Diane, do you remember what else we talked about when it came down to the community school piece?
Yeah, we did talk a little bit about having learning opportunities for parents through the community school, in particular the parent leadership and pieces like that, but having maybe school councils and principals create forums. And I think the new parent liaisons that we're hiring will be able to help with that at school level, to reach out to and engage more of the parents who are not participating in regular school meetings and try to get them more engaged in that.
Right.
There was also one other part under number 4, the advocacy, that the family engagement group added in, which I didn't necessarily feel needed to be added to ours, but I wanted to bring some attention to it. The first bullet point about, you know, their rights and responsibilities under state and federal laws. I'd like to just make them aware of somehow of the, you know, the Mass General Laws, Chapter 71, pertaining to schools and school committees. So maybe we can just have something at the community school information, a link to that they can, you know, because that's where all the information is.
Right. I mean, you know, and a lot of it too is a lot of this group would like more know their rights as far as translations and that. And
Can I just add to that, Stacy? Sorry to interrupt.
No
I did get an
problem.
email on that. I did receive an email with someone, you know, just gave me the website for translation services on, it's just that ed.gov/OCR. So maybe that's a link we can just have on our website that they can click on as a resource versus having it in our policy. Just make it, you know.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I mean, somehow during this COVID time would be a great time to kind of update our website so that there is all that information there and it's easy for parents to find.
Right.
It's not enough for a parent that's been in the city for years, but if you're coming from a different country or you don't speak another language, it makes it much more difficult, even if you have a translation piece in it. But even with our policies, I said this last week too, they cannot pull up our policies and have it translated. So it might be time to kind of figure out what we can do in that case. Not that parents really go in there and look, but just in
Some
case.
do,
we
yeah,
have to
for
be
the-
open.
Exactly.
Um,
And like I said, that website, that would lead them to, exactly
Mhm.
what, we're responsible for translation, so that way they can go to the site and find it. So maybe we can give them some information with a link to that site and a link to the Mass General laws pertaining to schools and school
Mhm.
committees, so that they can have the information.
And so including that in your policy would make sure that there's.
Well, I didn't want to include that in the policy.
Okay,
I want to just maybe a link on the school, on the Riviera Public School site. I didn't feel that was necessary to put in
I
the
mean-
policy.
but I think if you had a statement in the policy, like was in the one that the parent engagement group worked on, that just said in the policy, we will make sure as a matter of policy that we are giving this information. And so then, 10 years from now, a different school committee with a different superintendent could be saying, superintendent, you need to have that on the website because it's not policy, that you're gonna make that information available. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's,
Yeah.
I think that's what the parents were getting at by including that in the policy. It makes sure that those things get posted on our website or in student handbooks, in places where parents could find the information more readily than what we're doing right now. Because as you both just pointed out, that's a gap on our website, that it doesn't, there should be a link right there that says, know more about the law, know your rights, click this link. And it might bring them to the state website, and also to some information from our parent information center, the resources that we have there to connect families to different social service agencies and pieces like that.
I think also on our site where we have the parent information drop down, that might be, I know Melrose has a nice drop down with parent resources and, to have bullets like whether it be on translation, whether it be CPAC transitional resources, just to have all that information there also.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's a work. The site cannot be translated on mobile, which I would love to see changed. That was a question we just got.
So I just want to let us know we have a hand raised in our attendees.
Okay. Who might have been, oh,
It's WEE Rivera.
So it would be, hi, Ina, is that you? Ina, you're muted. Ina, did you raise your hand for a particular question?
Yes, I did raise my hand. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hi.
What
Yes.
was your question?
Well, my question is, I mean, I wanted to, when we presented to the school committee 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were hoping that, we would be, included or invited to those meetings so that everybody would be here and to see what the process is and, how you would vote or make decisions on the policy. And I just, found out about this meeting at the last minute, and I'm happy to be here, but I wish more parents, would have come, because I remember I asked, if we could even get a little notification, but that's okay. I'm happy I'm here today. And I was listening to Stacy earlier talk about the family engagement policy that you had. And I know that several times during the process, we did ask, what is the policy that the school had prior, so we can look at it and we could, work on it and make amendment or change to that or incorporate ours into yours, but we never got a copy. We never, I think at one meeting we were told that it didn't exist or that you didn't have it. And now I see that you're trying to make changes or incorporate, and I want to know incorporate into which original document. And because I know we asked,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
because I know we asked for a copy of it, but we never got it at several meetings.
I sat on your family engagement and no one ever asked me for it. No one. I did discuss openly with everyone that I had put together that we were doing a policy, but that I held off so that we could see what some of your suggestions were from your group. And that was back in February and November. But no one, even myself being the policy chair, was never even asked sitting in on your group.
I am very surprised that you would say that, Stacy, because I remember the first time that we introduced the policy, you were, actually, that was not the first time that we talked about it. The first time that we asked you was a meeting when you came and you said, oh, I just received this invitation. I don't have the policy with me because I didn't know I was going to be on the agenda or that I would have to share it. And then you say, but I can bring it next time. And I know many times after that we did ask and we never saw it. But even if we didn't ask, if you know that this is a document that we are all working on together, then why did we never saw it? Like we never saw it so we can learn what you guys already had about translation, about the policies, about all of that. We never saw it. And for us to hear about it, for me to hear about it now, I'm like, what documents? How can we work on something if we don't know the basis? Like it wasn't there. And if it was,
In November, you are right. It was my first meeting. I didn't even know what I was walking into.
Yes.
So to know I was supposed to come with something, I had no idea what the whole family engagement thing was. It was something I just learned of a few weeks before and asked Diane to include me on it. So you are correct as far as November. Other than that, I did say that we would put it on hold because of, the piece that we're working on. It's supposed to be a joint developed policy.
yes.
So there is a lot of things that we want to use from your policy because you are the parents and we want to work with you. And so I gave that leeway of holding off, waiting for that to be done.
Okay, that's not how I understood it, but thank you for clarifying.
Sorry, I mean, and the one that I just came up with is basically all the bullets is like 90% of what you had asked for to be included.
Yeah. And I mean, I see that you say that you came in, very late into the whole, creation of this family engagement policy. And I myself, really started also around October when I joined Women Encouraging Empowerment. But I know the group work on it for almost 3 years now, past 2.5 years. And I know that they really poured all of their, their sweat and tears into it. And I want, them to get recognition for the document that they created.
I would absolutely, we're praising the work that you people did. But I also say there was work being done outside of anyone's knowledge. Even people that had sat on that committee, I know there was a few times that you said, not you particularly, but the we group said we got together and worked over on it.
Yes.
And a lot of people were just left out of it. So it was like a select group of people, but still you did the work. You did do the work.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So
okay.
It's something to work on. As far as presenting this tonight is for everyone to be able to look at it, and see, Fred Sinella and Susan Gravelisi are on the policy subcommittee. So they've looked over it a few times since the last subcommittee meeting. And I apologize. I did ask Dr. Garcia if he did invite because I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
But he said he didn't know he was supposed to because it was already posted online.
Yes.
So anyone can attend. I just thought, like I had said to the last meeting, I did want to give you a heads up because you ladies and gentlemen worked very hard on this.
We did. Well, thank you. I'm glad I'm here tonight, and moving forward, if we can be included, that would be wonderful.
You're always included, always.
Okay, I like to hear that. Thank you,
Well,
Stacy.
and we appreciate the work that you do. I mean, not just as a PTO mother or the work that you do at just you as an individual.
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. And it's not just me. It's really,
Oh, no,
parents.
I mean, everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely parents who really, want to know their
Mhm.
rights and how they can better help their kids at school, be involved, be informed. They want to be, welcome at school and in any language. And, this is just a goal that we can all work, together for, for the betterment of our,
Mhm.
of our kids. And I know that's your main priority as well. So yeah, it's just learning to work together.
And you have to understand too, with COVID, it's made us a little bit harder for us to all, kind of get together and have that kind of collaborative work.
Yeah,
But we will get there someday soon, I hope.
I hope so too. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So we have another hand raised in the attendees, Olga.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Olga, yes. Can you just state your name and address, please?
Yes, I am Olga Takure, 83 Glendale Street.
Mhm.
And thank you for allowing me to speak. And I'm not here to complain or to, and ask you why this and that, but I just wanted to mention that what Ina said, it is true. And I'm understanding, I'm hearing you, Stacy, that you walk into that meeting without knowing what was going on. And I wish we could have done a better job and informed the whole school committee when did we start this whole project about the engagement policy. And the reason why we started this is because the school didn't have. We did a lot of research where to find that. And we went to Dr. Diana Kelly, and we find out that there was one not updated. And that's how we start working on this. And again, we didn't inform the whole school committee because we thought you guys communicate with Dr. Kelly. And so we didn't want it to go over, Dr. Kelly. But you did mention, and I was the one who said, remember when you said our meetings are open to everyone, and I have this policy, and I said, can you share it so we can combine ours? And so we don't, double the work. And so you said that you didn't know what was the meeting about, that you didn't have it, and I asked, and many teachers and parents were there. So it was not just me and Ina. And then you didn't have it, which was fine. And I asked you to share it through email, and you said yes. But all of that time, we were working together, even up until the last meeting prior presenting the school committee, the whole policy. You were there, and then you said that you will present this draft to the school committee. So up until there, we didn't know that you had already won. And for my surprise was the day of the that we were presenting this policy to the school committee, that you said you have one and you wanted to combine. I was very surprised because you were there on the prior meeting, and you said you will present it to the school committee, and probably that will end up at the committee for another committee or subcommittee to be reviewed. I didn't know that you were the chair of this subcommittee. So nobody was aware of that. So that is why, but it is good that right now we know that you have a policy and that you're combining it right now, but we want to be able to, we were expecting to be included. That's why we asked last time, can you let us know of the process So we will be able to answer those questions, or if there's, is that okay if we combine? So right now we're listening to you and say, this, no, remove that. So we want to have a voice there and be able to say, why are we putting that? Why should we not remove that? Where is to go? And I'm not here to tell this should be like this, but I think having these spaces for us and for parents to be talking to you and you're clarifying things is very important, especially now that everything is, uncertain. We don't know where to look for information. The website, as you can see, and you were witness of even school administrators trying to look when is the next meeting, a school committee meeting. You and many parents and teachers were a witnessing, like even for you guys were hard, it was hard to find. Imagine for us, we don't own the website. We have many barriers, right? But we're not here complaining, but we want to be included. We want to be part of the solutions. We want to be part, to work as a partners and not as parents that want to mess up and want to complain and want everything fixed. No, we want everybody of you to see that we are here to be part of the solutions to issues that may rise or we might have. And we all know that if we work together, if we communicate to each other, we will fix so many issues that right now the school is having. So thank you
I think
for.
we're definitely all on one page with that, Olga.
And Olga, it just goes without saying that we do need to look at resources of whether they're new parents coming in, whether they're parents of special needs students or parents from other countries. Once they come in, they need to know how not just the schools, but the community is governed, and that will help them. I know at one of your meetings, no one knew where to find the school committee meetings. And Diane put up the smart board and explained it to everyone that day. So, I mean, yes, and maybe it's something we can do at the community school, or maybe you at We can help us out by having some classes for these parents.
Yes, we are having, and that's how we are helping parents. That's how we are helping. Just like the day you said to Mokava, teach them how to find it, and she was having troubles herself to find that. But at least everybody learned together, right? Like you realize that how difficult it is for even a person who works at the school to find something, the agenda, when is the next meeting. So we have to do a lot of workshop, a lot of, parent involvement. I said, okay, in this huge website, how do you find this type of information? How do you find where, because I honestly go through many steps to find your meetings, but how does people knows that how to navigate, how to use to go through that step first, and then I look on the calendar and it's not there. I have to go to the school committee. So I'm just saying that it's not something that's so hard, but I'm just saying, like, if we parents come together and hold workshops, which is part of the policy, that after that policy there is a plan to follow up for each school. So the parents from each school will gather and create a plan themselves, how to put that policy to work. So that's and I'm glad we're having this conversation, and I'm really grateful that you are listening. But this is how we are seeing during this pandemic that many parents are disconnected, lost, because when we attend these meetings and we can't speak like we're speaking right now, there's lots of questions and lots of assumptions and lots of judgments, probably because we don't have the space to ask you and you answer and listen to our concerns and listen to how do we do better in this process, in these challenging times. I think it's crucial that the school, have the parent liaison to work directly with parents. Right now we have one, but sometimes honestly, we inform her.
So Olga, I'm going to stop you because I want us to stay focused on this meeting.
Yeah,
We have heard
Yeah,
you,
thank you
that
for
your
letting
voice
me speak.
wasn't heard before, which is why we changed the format of these meetings so that we could bring people up and let their own voices be heard. That's why we're on webinars now. We bought the new Zoom platform to enable that.
Awesome.
I know that you know, because you've gone over many of our meetings that we've had before, that we have put in our CARES Act budget to hire a parent liaison at every single school, in addition to the one that we already have. So we're working on the ideas that you are bringing forward, and we need to move forward. So thank you for your comments. And Stacy, is there more that you wanted to share with the plan?
I mean, I don't know if anyone had a chance to kind of look at it today, or if Sue and Fred want to make any adjustments to it. And if everyone is comfortable, we can always recommend it to our committee of the whole meeting tomorrow to adopt it. Or if there's more questions, then we can meet again and bring it up at the next meeting next week. Susan and Fred, any questions? Susan?
No, I think it's self-explanatory. The concerns are that everyone be notified and that it be easily accessible, whether it be English or whatever is the concerns that have been expressed.
Okay, Susan?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Rizzo. As I said before, when I talked to you, obviously I sent over, my draft of combining the parents' family engagement with ours. And like I said earlier, I felt like some more of the language from the parent engagement draft policy could be intertwined with ours a little bit more.
Can you tell me specifically which part you think it is so we can?
Let me see, because I have both of them out here. Let's see. Encourage families. Let's see, I'm trying to see. There was quite a bit. Well, where's the draft that I sent you?
The draft that you sent, I can bring up now.
Thank you.
Share screen. Here we go. So.
Excuse me, what I kind of did was take ours and just put their language under our bullet points. So I felt like a lot of it was in there. Like one of our bullet points was communicate effectively through multiple communication paths. So I took some of their language and added it under that bullet. I just feel like it's more explanatory that way. Like,
well, and it's in the, like I said, everything that's highlighted from yours right here on the screen is in under the cause and the vision of the other document. I just kind of what our core responsibilities were and what our vision to work with our parents are. So the core ones, I think, were basically the communication effectively, building a bridge between the cultures of the home and school, ensure a smooth home to school transition, create a welcoming environment, that might be it for the core. And then the vision was how we want to work with those.
So,
Would you prefer? I'm sorry.
Are the parts that are not highlighted? I think we're looking at Susan's copy, right?
Right.
So are the parts that are not highlighted, are they from the work that the parent group did?
Right.
Okay, Susan, you're muted.
And like I said earlier, on a few of them, it's because it was stated in a different area.
Okay. Susan, were you going to say something? Do you want to unmute?
Sorry. What I had said before, I had sent this draft to Stacy incorporating some of the family engagement group's work. And the yellow highlighted, I did not highlight. Stacy said that she added it
I did.
in.
I did it.
Yeah, I believe it, yeah. So
Oh.
I didn't highlight it. What I had done was, just to make it a little clearer, where our first bullet point is communicate effectively through multiple communication paths. I had taken part of the parents' family engagement work and added it in, like explaining like what we would be doing under that bullet point and so on and so forth. So I was trying to add some more of their language into it.
Mhm.
So
In
then
a clearer.
my question to Stacy would be, is everything that they gave us that Sue had incorporated here in here somewhere?
So I'm going to say the partnering with the community, it's not in there. And I think that was part of what we were talking about with the working with the community school, trying to get that work up with them.
Mm-hmm.
Where else? This right up here, build a bridge, develop positive school parent relationships. We already have somewhere else.
Okay.
Where is it?
Well, I have to pull up the other one then. Can I take those down?
Sure.
I mean, and again, if you really didn't have time to look at the one I sent out today and incorporated everyone's idea,
No, I did. I just,
we can table this and meet again next week to finalize some of the things if you feel rushed.
I just felt that it was clearer just to put some of their language underneath our bullet points to show that that's where it fit in.
But when I set this up, the core values would be definitely what our school committee policy would be about. Most of the vision is what we get with the parents in as a joint development. So a lot of this, when we're supposed to review this from year to year, a lot of the vision is what we'd be looking at because it might need to change according to wherever we are next year.
So then maybe we can add some of that under the vision, some of what I had put in under the core values.
Yeah, I know most of it is in here, but I mean, I'm thinking maybe we need to table this and not recommend it tomorrow so that we can go over this together. Well, not together, but to give you, when I highlighted, what I did when I highlighted yours was every time I read a sentence of yours, I went into the ones that I sent out today to make sure it was there and I highlighted. So that's,
Okay.
that's what I did. That's what,
Some of what what was highlighted was what I just like brought over from the parent family engagement policy, but I just can't see it all in here. I mean, I see some of it obviously,
yeah.
but I feel like some of it is missing. Or, you know, if we do make another draft, we could work with the family engagement group and fuse the two together, our KBA and their family engagement.
Well, you know what, and there's a misconception that I had a separate one. The policy we have comes from ESSER itself. It's not something that we just planned because they were doing it. ESSER requires us to have the policy, but then they also want us to sit down with families from CPAC, from all over, any parent in the city of a Title I school, and to go to see what we can do for to engage parents more in the schools. So I forgot what, so this first part has nothing to do with, like, they wanted to incorporate theirs with ours. That is something that we need to have, period.
Right,
Anything after that is all input from our families.
right. That was the part after that was what I wanted to add more of their language.
Mhm.
So would it make sense to take the plan that the family engagement group developed? Stacy, you've already highlighted the pieces that are already mentioned in here, but then append underneath anything that's missing.
Can I do what? I'm sorry, Diane.
So you have, so Sue took this copy and added in all the stuff from the parent engagement group, right?
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
you highlighted the stuff that was already included.
right.
So if we look at that version that you were showing us a minute ago, that has the highlights of where there was consistency between the two, and we just look at the pieces that are not highlighted, which would be the pieces from the family engagement group from their work, if we add those in, then we would have all of the stuff from Esther and all of the stuff from the family engagement group in one document.
And it's not all the stuff on family
Sorry, I
engagement.
keep saying Esther. Yeah.
It's not all. It's what we had looked at and what we were agreeing to.
Okay.
Like it says, it's supposed to be jointly developed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like there was one part from the family engagement policy, as far as, making the community aware of our school committee meetings. And it wasn't until just now when Olga spoke that I didn't realize that they weren't aware of how to get that information from the school or city website. So, that's something that Olga had mentioned. She wanted to have it on the school calendar when it was. So I'm not
You
sure
mean
if
the
that's
school
something.
calendar? I don't understand what
That's
school
what-
calendar.
I'm thinking that's what Olga meant by just putting it on our calendar, like just like the school calendars with events, just put school committee meeting 6 o'clock Tuesday. I
But
think
all
that's
our information goes to the city calendar.
But it is also,
Okay.
it's on the school calendar. It's on the live calendar on the website. The
Oh,
regular.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so
the
we
regular-
can-
but Susan, I should clarify, the regular school committee meetings are always on our calendar because they put them in as soon as we book them. When a committee member calls for a sudden meeting, that may not be on the school calendar, but it would be on the.
Okay. Right, so sometimes it's hard to get that information out when it's a quick meeting, but it is always posted. Right, so maybe we can just,
I'm going to make a motion to table this so that you and Fred could look at it more and compare the two versions, your version with this. Is there a second or are we leaving it?
leaving
Okay,
it
so
as it is today. Sorry, could you repeat that, Stacey?
I was going to table it so that I was going to motion to table it so I could give you more time to compare to see what you believe might have been left out and perhaps Fred. And then we can meet next week on it and kind of finalize it so that we have a clear document. Or if you want, we can just work on it now and.
Well, I think I'd like to, do what we had done before where I edit a draft and send it over to you so we can, and Fred, did you do the same? Did you send Stacy some information that you felt? Oh, he's muted.
He did send a couple of things over.
Okay, because I found that easier if I just add things to the draft and then we can just work with it from there.
Well, and that's what would have been nice if we could have just started working to add or take out. And maybe I should have given this to you prior than today.
Well, in the interest of time, if you want, I can, Stacy, if you want to send this to me, I can put it up and be typing edits as you guys speak them, if that's helpful. And you could be looking at the changes in real time.
Well, and I also, Fred, are you trying to say something? You're muted. Fred?
I mean, how far apart are we? We've waltzed this around at one meeting where the parents group had all their suggestions, and they were a little upset that it wasn't voted on that night. So that seems to have been taken care of. And plus, speaking today, I mean, are we that far apart that it can't be put together now? Or is it going to require a lengthy meeting or two just to get it correct?
There are things that we don't agree with that came off of the family engagement policy. And then there's things that we feel that are very important to the family engagement policy.
But I think we've got to be careful that one group doesn't supersede the other.
Well, and it's a school committee policy. I know an email will go out saying how bad I was, and that's fine. But it's been done. Stand in line.
Silly.
The whole thing is, it is our policy.
No, and I want it to be ours with input from everybody.
Exactly.
But the groups, I don't think any singular group should supersede another group.
Right.
Okay.
So I think maybe we should work on this and incorporate the two together with input from the family engagement parents.
Well, I thought that's what I did today. I took everything that you asked, everything they asked, and I tried to put it in a format that was clean. But if you need to go back to the drawing board, that's fine.
I just wanted more of their, a little more of their language. Excuse me?
Madam Chairperson, you have a motion on the floor that's seconded to refer back for further study. So why don't we go forward with that if it's the wish of the group?
Okay, Fred Sinella,
Yes.
Susan Grevalisi,
Yes.
Stacy Rizzo, yes.
Can I
So-
make one request for the work?
Go for
And
it.
I want to thank all three of you for the work that you've done on this already. But if the pieces that were in the parent engagement policy, to the extent possible that they could be incorporated, there was a large group that included teachers and administrators and parents that did work on that piece. So I would just advocate for as much of that to be represented in the school committee's policy as we can. Understanding that there may be some points of disagreement, but as much as possible, like the example that we used earlier, saying in your policy that we're gonna make a concerted effort to make sure we are explicit about where parents can get information on translations and those pieces. Making that explicit in your policy means that any superintendent, me or anybody who comes after me, has to make sure that they're doing that. So it's helpful to have things like that in a policy because it kind of gives the marching orders. And if parents are saying a good marching order for district leadership is to have that explicit, then we should do that.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Okay. So we'll work on this some more, Stacy, and
I can't wait. So does anyone have a time open for next week? Or would you like me to send out a couple of different dates and times to see what your availability is?
Well, if we try to pick a time right now, then the folks who are listening will know when it is, and that information will be out there. They can plan accordingly and even let other people know when it is.
Mm-hmm.
Any suggestions for dates?
I'm in the process of selling a house and buying a house, so I'm all over the place.
Dr. Kelly, what is your schedule like?
Well, it's our schedule.
It is, but I think she's a little busier than me.
She's busier
I'll
than
admit-
me.
I'll admit that.
I actually have some available Monday afternoon, sometime available Monday afternoon if you do. I'm open
What
from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, if that window works. And then I'm open again at 5 o'clock. I have a meeting from 4 to 5.
Yeah, I don't have anything till after 3 o'clock on Monday, and then Tuesday, I'm
What
somewhat
about
open.
5? 5 on Monday?
I
Fred,
can
what's
make
your,
that work.
Fred?
Monday's 5 o'clock Monday sounds good.
Okay, let's plan 5 o'clock Monday.
Oh, one question. We can't. We don't use the open meeting law in terms of posting. for
Oh,
the-
that's right too, today's Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah.
today's Thursday. I thought today was
Um,
Wednesday. Tuesday, we have our meetings starting
Yeah,
at
yeah.
5.
Tuesday, I'm completely booked. I can do-
Anything open on Wednesday, the 19th in the morning?
The early, I could do 11 to 12. Does that work?
Sue?
It's not ideal, but I'll make it
No,
work.
not me neither. It's not, I might be late.
You have something a little later, Dr.
Oh, I
Kelly?
do. I was trying to go early.
Yeah,
Oh.
I can't do anything after 1.
What about noontime, noon to 1? Does that work for you, Stacy?
I can work around it somewhat.
Okay.
I might be late, but
Susan?
Yeah. Fred?
Yes, nope,
Okay. So Wednesday at noontime.
Let me write this down.
yeah, Fred, write this down, please.
I'm writing it down. It's not gonna make any difference.
I know.
So,
And so if anyone in the audience that is interested, we will be meeting August 19th at 12 noon. And it will go up on the school site and also the city site.
okay.
Anyone have any questions?
Motion to adjourn.
No, wait, Carol, Miss Wordsmith is coming in. Unmute Carol?
I think she should be able to unmute.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, or is somebody ahead of me?
Nope, go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I just have my usual observations that an old English teacher would have. And
I told you she was gonna wordsmith.
So I have a few observations. So on some of them for clarity and for understanding. And so I will, after you get the draft together, if you'd like me to look at it before, I'd be happy to do so.
Well, yeah, of course. Did you get the draft I sent out today, Carol?
I printed it out. Yes, I did, but I don't seem to have the one that you showed.
That's the one that I had.
Yeah, that was,
together.
that was,
I can send it to you, Carol.
If
But
you'd
I'll
like to,
edit it
or-
and put it in
Or I
another
can wait,
thing.
whichever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
thank you.
can send it. I can reformat it so that my bullet points aren't all under the same, under the vision where you had, I'm sorry, under the core values. I put bullet points under all those. So if, Stacey, if you want me to put them more under the vision and leave the core values as it is, I just felt I'll send it to Carol to see what
Thank you.
you think.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
So moved.
Okay, so committee of the whole tomorrow at 11 a.m. and the next policy subcommittee Wednesday, 12 noon. So thank you everyone for attending.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.